Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Elder Scrolls Lore. Now before we begin today, make a shout out to the Discord chat. Feel free to join in the link in the description below, or in the channel header. We talk about lore, gaming, a bunch of other stuff, as well as keep updates with the channel and how things are going, and why videos might not come out on a certain day. Sometimes it happens, but it's an easy way for me to talk to you guys in the community. But today's an interesting video because we're talking about things from Elder Scrolls Redguard, which is this game I've never really covered too much. So going into it, there's actually a lot of lore. So with that, we're going to start with the character of Dram. Dram was a Dunmer assassin during the Second Era, and he was an ally of Tiber Septim and the Third Empire, who served under the orders of Emil Reichton on Stros Makai, which is in Hammerfell. His enemies included Cyrus and the Crowns. Now, Dram is believed to be a descendant of the assassins responsible for killing and destroying the Riemann bloodline. However, there's not much proof other than the statement that proves this. Dram was first born in 612 of the Second Era in Morrowind, but in truth he has died multiple times and was reincarnated over 3 times. Now, his most recent incarnation was reborn in 800 of the Second Era after his secret execution at the hands of the Tribunal and House Induril. There's not much reason on why he was killed, but it's most likely the fact that he was an assassin. As he matured, though, he was able to join the Morag Tong and began to worship Sithis, and at this point he obtained the Bow of Shadows. Now, luckily, because the Morag Tong and Sithis don't have the best of relationships, when Tiber Septim gained the Cyrodiilic crown, Dram actually went to Cyrodiil and became one of his most trusted allies. He also trained under Tiber Septim's battle mage, Zurin Arctis, obviously before he became the Underking, and during the Battle of Hunding Bay, Dram was a part of this battle and was able to get a shot on Prince Tor, who was the Crown Prince of Hammerfell, and shot and killed him with a poison arrow. After this victory on the island of Stros Makai, the island was then put under the Imperial control, and Dram was assigned to kill any remaining rebels by the orders of Emil Reichton, as Emil became the governor of the island. Now, in 864 of the Second Era, a Redguard rebellion began under the leadership of a Redguard pirate named Cyrus. At some point, Cyrus would obtain an amulet from the Slowed Augusta and goes to the palace to deliver the amulet to Emil Reichton. Now, Dram accompanies the governor into the audience chamber and will summon a few guards. Now, Reichton orders Cyrus's execution, but Dram decides to interrogate Cyrus first and casts a spell to knock him unconscious. Sometime later, the Dark Elf and Cyrus will meet again in jail, and he will approach Cyrus from behind and allow him to finish his conversation with Johto, and then will kill the Khajiit with his bow. Dram will then fight Cyrus for some time, but eventually is forced to flee. Now they'll make another they'll have another encounter again in the catacombs once Cyrus kills Nephalalargus. However, this doesn't go too far because Cyrus will end up escaping. Now, once more, they will actually encounter each other again. If you've ever played Redguard, of course. Dram will then find Cyrus on a Dwemer airship, and now Cyrus will be wielding the Soul Sword, so it isn't too much of a battle because the Soul Sword is pretty good. But after Cyrus will then defeat Emil Reichton in combat and on the Dwemer airship, and even though Emil distracts Cyrus in his last moments, Dram was able to sneak up behind Cyrus with a dagger to his throat, but the Soul Sword was able to be manifested and being able to fly on its own, and was able to stab not only Emil Reichton, but it then proceeded to cut Dram in half from head to toe, not cutting him in half by the waist. So that's interesting. That's how he dies. And that is all we actually have on Dram. Now, personally, I find this very interesting because it's a character that we always kind of see the Empire in a positive light, and yet we see this in a very negative way. Dram is definitely the villain in this game, and it's interesting to see that we have this character who's doing a lot of a lot of bad things, and yet he serves supposedly this more positive light. And I guess as we go on throughout the Elder Scrolls series, we get a more positive opinion on the Empire as a faction, I feel like, because if you think about it, we played Morrowind, then we played Oblivion and Skyrim, and then as you go on, there's a more friendlier look at the Empire. But then again, we are getting closer to the Empire as we're going on. Morrowind is essentially kind of detached at the Empire by the events of the game, but Skyrim and Oblivion, well, Oblivion takes place in Cyrodiil, so it's right there, and then Skyrim, you're playing as this Civil War-esque land that is separating but not separating from the Empire. They don't really know, they're kind of split directly in half, so that's very interesting as well. But we're getting closer and closer, so I find it interesting that here there's a pretty negative light on the Empire, and you can kind of see the Empire for what it was, at least at the beginning. And I enjoyed it. Going over characters like this, it was definitely interesting. Now, it's not a lot of information, but it's something, and I feel like something that hasn't been covered too much. I've definitely never heard of this character outside of this game. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. If you guys want to see more stuff from Redguard, please let me know. I'd love to do it. I might hop in and do Emil Reichton because he's a pretty prominent character here as well. But, you know, we got a lot of lore here in terms of who he was and what he did, and I appreciate that. But with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Please like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys around. Peace.